much of the AI for podcast. My name is Jeff. I'm the CEO at Ally Cloud. We are a NetSuite Alliance partner. We implement and support NetSuite and several third-party solutions that add value to the platform and to our clients. That's all we do. Joining me is Francisca Severino, aka Fran. She is the AI Innovation Manager here at Ally Cloud and is leading the way to finding and implementing AI solutions that benefit NetSuite, their customers, and our clients. Hi, Fran.
Hi. Hello, Jeff. Thank you for the intro.
You're welcome. So real quick, I refer to this as a podcast, but obviously it's a little bit different in that we are going to be sharing our screen to demonstrate AI solutions. Also, we aren't scripting these as demos. I'm just letting Fran know what I'd like to talk about. She's going to do a walkthrough and I'm going to ask questions. So we'll see how that goes. It's sort of like an internal meeting, to be honest, which is the natural way to do it. And I think will be very informative. In the future, we'll do these as live webinars. And so anyone who's interested in joining can do that. And then we will likely leave more time for questions and answers than most webinars do. So we're excited to sort of branch off into doing webinars as well. We're going to kick off with an overview of two platforms that bring AI to NetSuite. The first is a connector that can be used with AI agents. The one that we're going to show is Claude. We'll talk about that a bit, obviously. The second is a data transformation tool we use internally, but that could be useful for customers who require routine data exports and prep and import, like payroll, into NetSuite. We're not going to go deep into the weeds on either one of those, so we'll keep it high level, but we will go deeper into each one on future podcasts. Also, they are different, you know, in terms of the target market, they are different enough to keep them separate. So while we'll do an overview of both of them today, we'll be doing a follow-up podcast and webinars for each of those separately. So
that's great.
With that, Fran, did I mention? Yeah, okay. So with that, Fran, are you ready?
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready.
All
I'm
right.
going to start sharing my screen.
Show us your AI agent.
Okay, so we're going to start with Claude. So NetSuite recently developed a suite app that you can follow some instructions within their help center, right? There is a full process that you can follow, some notes and the requirements, right? So it's called the NetSuite AI connector that basically allows you to have a way to interact with this agent. And recently, I mean, the only one that is built in is Claude. That's what it says here, right? So we tested this out and we went through the process of connecting the MCP, right? And I want to show you how that looks like, right?
And MCP, by the way, were you going to show the suite app like in the store or in the suite?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because MCP.
I can show this.
Everybody's going to look. That's what I did. I looked for AI connector in the suite apps.
Yeah,
come up.
in the suite apps, yeah. Let me just quickly log in. It's because when you connect it to, we connected to our demo account. That's good context as well. Just to test it out and see how that works. And when you go to the suite apps in here and you search for MCP, wait a minute. Right, it shows you the tool. So it's very easy to find and very easy to install. You can just follow the process in the NetSuite applications guide, right? It's just a couple enabled features that you have to do. The only thing that you need to make sure is to assign a specific role and those permissions, right? Because it doesn't allow you to connect to the admin as at all, right? And you can follow this guide. It's really good, and it gives you also, if you want to learn more about the associated risk and what are you given access to this AI agent. Okay, so first thing is if you want to connect to the Suite app, you also have to have a Claude Pro plan. So we tested this out with the Pro plan, right? And the agent also, it disconnects from from your account. So if you don't not using it like constantly, right, you have to go and add the connector. So when you have a Pro plan in Claude, you just have to go to add the connector. So you will go here and add a connector, right? And then you can just manage a connector here, and then you will add your own custom connector in here. And it's
So was
basically
it in that list of connectors, Fran? If you go back to the other screen.
No, it's not currently in the list of connectors. That's what the Suite app is for.
Okay. So how do you connect it to NetSuite?
Custom.
You
go to add a custom connector, and then basically you just give it a name. I name it NetSuite, of course, and then it asks you for a URL. The guide also shows you, how to connect with the service in here, and it gives you all the steps, like, open a browser, open a new tab in Claude AI, and go to connectors, and basically it gives you a URL that you have to do, and that's it. That's how you connect it. So it's very all the steps are there. So it's not hard. You just have to follow the steps, right? So we already did that.
Then once it's there, you go to browse connector, so you can keep going.
Right. So every time you go in the new chat, you can just go to the search and tools over here in Claude, and then it will show you. You have to reconnect it because basically it's not connected like by default. You have to just trigger the connection. I guess it's a security measure, right? So you go here to the connectors. You can also go to your settings to do that, and you just connect again, and it's going to prompt you to kind of acknowledge this. That's basically giving you, what is giving access to, which one is the role, right, that is connected. So I created a controller -AI role, right? And you're giving access to personal information and the data from that role, right?
So you have to do this each time you want to use Claude, and then it disconnects. Yeah. Do you know how long? How long does it stay connected after you?
I believe as long as you. I don't have the number, but I use for 2 hours straight, and it didn't disconnect. So I'm guessing it has like if you stop using it for a certain time, it just go and disconnect, right?
So if you're using it today, if you're using it today,
what happened? Maybe some login.
You come in and you want to use it tomorrow. Sorry, then you have to reconnect it. So you have to reconnect it each time. Let's say day by day. Okay, and that's a security.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is because I was already logged in. So let me log into Claude again. And let's, so right now, okay, now it's open. Now it's connected.
Okay.
So somehow it connected again, right? So here you can also manage, the tools available within your NetSuite. So you can toggle those if you don't want to have, you don't want the AI to have access to any of this when you're running your questions, basically.
Is that just for that? Is that just for these prompts right now, or is that for per user? I think we talked about this earlier. You manage permissions on the user in NetSuite, but maybe, I guess if you wanted to limit probably the time that it would take, like here you're going to do a prompt that's going to search all these records potentially. I mean, maybe it won't, but set it up.
We're currently testing how the permission works within the roles with the AI. So for example, if you want to give access to one of your employees to, run different reports on just to analyze reports into your NetSuite, right, with using AI, if those will follow the permissions that your current role or employee has. So we're still testing if that's the case, because you cannot customize permissions within this this agent now, but
Yeah,
I
or
imagine
with,
that you can,
yeah,
yeah.
I suppose it could be done on the connector level, but it actually makes sense to put that
Right.
on the role, depending on who you're going to give access, who's going to have
Hmm.
access on the client side. So I
Yeah,
personally,
that's
just putting this out there, I would probably create a role that has mostly, if not all, view only access. And we're going to be,
hmm
I think you mentioned, we're going to be testing that to make sure
right.
that this is still functional with that. I mean, because in the short term, we probably want to limit, if not fully restrict, the ability to change things in NetSuite
Hmm.
using AI. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, and into that same topic, one of the first thing that I ask the agent itself is like, okay, what can you do for me, right? What is the best use case to use Claude for NetSuite, right? So by changing data, there is a few things that you can do more in the area of customers. So basically, this is the chat where I ask, okay, what can you do for me, right? So I would say to update data, it's very limited right now. Like you can do some update or basic information for customers, like, or like you're missing an email, you can do that. You're missing a phone, you can also do that as well. But I would say the more powerful um, tool, like the more power that you can get from this tool is more like analysis, more than just the update of information. Um, because right now, yeah, you might not want to. I mean, it's nice to don't have to run a CSV import to update, a small thing or a list of things, but um, I would say it's also scary that you can change data via the agent. Um, so I would say what I'm seeing lately from since we saw this tool is more for the business intelligence use cases to
yeah.
analyze
Well,
data within NetSuite. Yeah.
yeah. When we talked about this last week, there were a few things. So from this prompt that you did, you sent me the list and I kind of scanned through it. And one of the things that stuck out to me was like a cash flow. Yeah. And so
Hmm.
you did that one. And there was a couple of others.
Right.
I think the ability to change records in NetSuite is interesting, but I would, like I was saying, and like we talked about, probably
Hmm.
limit that as much as possible for right now, especially transactions, and and at least until there's a lot of testing. Um, and
Yeah,
for anyone
for
who's
sure.
considering using this, if you have a sandbox, I would definitely connect it to the sandbox before connecting it to a production account. But anyway, yeah, let's keep going.
Hmm. So yeah, basically one of the from that list that I sent you of the capabilities, the cash flow analysis is interesting because it gives you a like a detailed summary basically, but also it can create a dashboard, right? So if you go here, and this is something that you can also share, so it doesn't only give you the analysis, right, in a digestible way, it also gives you a way to share this with others if you need to. uh, and you can just, you publish this, call it artifact, right, and then you can just send it to whoever you want, right? So this is a nice way to visualize your data and see, and basically just drill down from here. Like, okay, what's going on in here? Just a reminder, this is our demo account, so a lot of the data is everywhere. But basically, this tool is very useful if you want to like analyze or create visualizations that are not, you know,
Yeah.
currently in NetSuite. So yeah.
What was the prompt that you used? Because I know you didn't spend a ton
So
of time in here doing
no,
this,
I
but
didn't. Yeah, I just
cash flow
said like
monitoring.
after, yeah, I just give me a cash flow monitoring on my NetSuite account, just to get started. Basically, from the list that I got from, sorry, the other, this is the one that I tried to do from the list of the use cases that they can
Hmm.
do. I start like narrowing down those, and also the AI gives you like more questions. Like if we jump into a trend analysis, for example, it's like, okay, can you give me, I asked them, can you give me a trend analysis? Okay, but can you be more specific? That's what it's asking
Yeah,
me,
that's what
right?
I
So it
meant. Yep.
also helps you to go into, um, you know, like give you one more context, it says. Right. So I picked one of these ones and I said, okay, give me more NetSuite data for inventory trends and year-over-year comparisons, right? So also Claude uh, gives you like the process, right? So it goes and what queries is running to, right? So what data is analyzing, so you can also see while this is being done. And in this case, it creates a document, right, that you can share. But I also asked them, okay, can you create me a dashboard for this? So I can share that as well. So this is also nice to digest data for, we usually have clients who are, we work with the people who doesn't have a hard accounting background, right? Implementing NetSuite, but a lot of them need to share like quick snippet or dashboards or like just reports that make sense to anyone, right? So I feel like um, this tool is very good to digest that type of information, like a normal day-to-day words, right? So
And so first you just asked for, so you prompted to get sort of the report that you were looking for, and it gave you a
right,
report in a
right.
list format. And then you just said, can you create a dashboard out of that? And that's what it did.
That's what I did. Yeah.
Okay.
You make a dashboard of this. That's what
Yeah.
it's very like it's I'm not creating like very deep prompt, and I might
Yeah.
need to dig into more maybe to what
Oh, for
else I can
sure.
do, but it's like, okay, so like what a normal person without much, the
Yeah.
full accounting background, right? So it's like,
Yep.
okay, so what a normal person will ask, just normal
Yeah.
words, day-to-day words, basically.
So
So
when you sent me that list, and I saw the list of the reports and the searches and those sorts of things, which is really what I'm most interested in. My initial sort of takeaway or assumption was that it's not going to create these in NetSuite. Like I couldn't see it creating a search in NetSuite or changing a search in
mhm,
NetSuite. Again, minimizing the potential impact or changes that would be made in the account. And so these are, at least right now, these reports and dashboards are only in Claude, right?
correct. They're only
Yeah,
in Cloud. I
yeah.
Yes. I mean, because of what I do in Cloud is mostly working with data updates, right? My first prompt was about, can you create a safe search to get me
Yeah.
a journal entry line detail with all of the information?
Yeah, you told
That
me
was
about
my
this one.
first.
I'm like, yeah, just throw like the
Yeah,
hardest search of all time
yeah.
in
It's like,
here.
can you give me all of those details? And then yeah, so that was my first chat, and then it's like, okay, but yeah, as you're correct, like it doesn't create a
Yeah,
safe search for you, but it gives you the guide. So
right.
if you're new to creating safe searches in NetSuite, if you are, do you want to have a specific results, right? When I asked them, okay, can you create a safe search with line details for journal entries in NetSuite? I need to transaction line details to be able to run an update. And I know how to do this. I just wanted to test, right? So it gives me like the whole configuration of that search that I can just go and replicate. And I mean, I still need to build a search in NetSuite, but it gives me, okay, all of the fields that I need, all of the, what are their name in NetSuite, what are the level fields. And I think the thing that I found more interesting was about the some essential filters, right? So it's like, this is something that you need to do, because if not, you won't get some certain results. And also key points for updates, right? So I think that that's something that I will, if I have to teach this, it's like, yeah, you need to have a line ID right? And it's not obvious for non-NetSuite users, right? Or day-to-day users, like what is a line ID, right? So it's like, and also like a few other key points that it's just, it makes sense, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
and
you
also
so
it explains that too.
yeah. So
Yeah,
you're kind of impressed that it called those things out as essential.
correct.
Like it knew those things. Yeah, because they are obviously.
Yeah, because if not, you will just, how do you update the transactions without that information? You can't. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see. So we talked about this too. I could see, how valuable it would be if you try to create a search in NetSuite. Obviously, you're going to start in NetSuite anyway because you can't create searches from AI, at least not yet.
Mm-hmm.
But anyone who's used NetSuite or tried to create even a semi complex search, especially with joins, knows how it can be frustrating to not get the results you're looking for and not really know why. And so I think one of the things that we'll be looking for is being able to analyze searches. Yeah, I don't think you can do that now, but we'll be looking for that as an option
Mm-hmm.
at some
Mm-hmm.
point. But you could also just start from scratch and like you have your search, you're not getting the results you want. Ask Claude to build the same search for the results that you want and look for what's different, look for what
Right.
you might have missed or whatever. So I think it can be, I think it could be definitely useful for that and reports too. Because how it is with reports and all the, sub records that could be a factor in reports, and some of them have the exact same name and you're not sure which one to use. So I think those could be really helpful too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Awesome. So let's see, what else did you have in the chat before we wrap this one up and move on?
We're trying to do some other
Yeah, we
reports, but
tried.
you can,
I
yeah.
asked if we could change NetSuite customer status updates, but you said we couldn't.
No, we
So
can't. No, we can't.
yeah.
Yeah, when
So
you do that, and also it gives you like, yeah, like we can't do that. We're unable to do
okay.
so. And also I believe one of the things that I asked is like, okay, so if you cannot do this, what can you do? Right? So, uh,
Yeah.
so
No, I mean
show me what
I would
what you
say,
can do.
yeah, if
Yeah.
you could, I'd say go into, let's say, into Claude. So I would say whereas you'd use a combination of searches and like inline editing, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
make any customer that hasn't had a transaction posted in the last year, set them to inactive, or
Right.
to some
Yeah.
different status, that might pull them out of reports that you don't want them in. So it'll be fun to keep using this and to,
Mm-hmm.
um, obviously get really good with some of the prompts that can work and that can be really, really useful, and to share those with our clients and stuff as we
Yeah.
go. And then obviously as the capabilities expand, to keep looking for, then that's the reason why we wanted to continue doing
Mm-hmm.
these podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
is that's going to happen. So there's no reason why we shouldn't, as we continue building and using these tools to show people how they work and what they can do with them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
good
for sure.
stuff. Let's switch over to Flatfile real quick. Okay, so this is Flatfile. It's a platform that we use internally as part of the implementation process to get data that needs to come from external systems and then prepared and imported into NetSuite. Every implementation that we do, almost every implementation we do requires that, except unless the company's a startup. And what it really helps us do, there's a few things. So if we're working with large amounts of data, it helps us to manage that in a better way than just using Excel files and folders. But also what it helps us do is combine, dedupe records. It helps us create trial balances that need to come in. So whereas before, like if you're a new NetSuite client, you might recall that you had a limit of 12, or at least that was what was proposed, uh, periods of journal entry of trial balances. We can do pretty much as many as you want now using the system. But the main thing that it could appeal to anyone who's not going through implementation but using NetSuite now on a regular basis every day is for data that they routinely export and then prepare and import into NetSuite. And so if that's a situation that a current NetSuite user has that is taking a lot of time and costing money, this could be a platform that they could use for that. So we're going to highlight that a little bit in this, and then Fran, I will let you take it over.
Okay, great. Yeah, as you mentioned, Jeff, we are developing a specific edition with Flatfile. So basically, it's like creating specific spaces and specific validations for the NetSuite environment, right? So it's something that we've been doing this past 6 months, I would say, and it's very promising. So I have built something to show you real quickly. To see how the AI is part of this process and a few other things, right? So each client has their own project space that's basically it replicates the data that is in NetSuite here on the workbook. So so you have, the subsidiaries and all of the other segmentations in here. I have already, this is connected to our demo account as well, right? So I have updated already some of the information in here. You can also integrate Flatfile within your account, so that way you can fetch information from NetSuite and also push information to NetSuite. So for today, I want to show you something that I would say 99% of the time happens with customer addresses, right? So you bring in customer addresses into NetSuite and you get a file from QuickBooks that has this nice format, right? So as you know, sometimes from QuickBooks, you can get the files separated, right? But sometimes you don't, and it comes this way. So it's like, okay, how do I do this to work better, right? How do I split this city into city, state, and zip code, right?
So what we're looking at in that column, the line 2 column, we have city, state, zip in one field. I mean, in one cell. Right below it, we have just the address, which is probably what it should be. Then we have an email address. And we have another email address. This is very common with exports from attention accounting department. I mean, that has to be an address, and so these are some of the things that require quite a bit of time to prepare. So I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, for sure. So I have prepped here what you can, let me show you what you can do with the AI assistant in Flatfile. So for example, let me just start with this one over here. I'm going to show you a little bit more so you can ask. Sorry. So let's see. So we know that our field city, I'm just calling the row in here. I don't know if you can see here in the bottom, can look like, we're going to start here first. It's going to look like this, right? I'm just telling them, okay, city can look like this, or it can also look like this. It doesn't have like an Illinois abbreviation, right? But you still need to split that up. And you can tell them, okay, don't split city and then state, right? And then zip code, right? So okay, and we can test this out. So you're gonna tell the assistant, okay, I want to split that a particular field into those 3 different ones, right? So you can just go ahead and the agent is gonna ask, it's gonna think for you. And then it's gonna generate a preview for you, and it's gonna show, okay, and this is what you want to do. See, and it also like give you, okay, so you can review this in here and see, okay, yeah, this is what I want to do.
And it skipped the ones that have PO box. So
because you told it because I give them the format. Yeah, I give them the format. Of course, they're gonna have a few who has like an extra format, right? So, but that way you just reduce the amount of cleanup that you need to do, right? Anyways, at some points you always have to review it like manually. And one quick thing, I mean, you have to approve it anyways. So, but you can accept this, right? This information, or reject it to try a new one. Let's accept it, right? And you can also, like, if, for example, this client has multiple different sheets, right? The job is running, so you can see that it's cleaned up already, and you can save this transformation. And so if you want to run this again, you can have this on your save transformation, so you can run it again. So you don't have to tell the agent what to do again. You can just have them in your save transformations, right? So think about this like as you said, like an Excel in asteroids. Basically, it just allows you to save process that you do very repetitive, right? And allows you to accelerate that cleanup. That's usually sometimes a lot of time and a lot of back and forward. Of course, Flatfile has other things that we can show, but I want to keep the momentum, and maybe I can show you more after. Maybe we can try our new prompt here. I haven't tested that out, so maybe we can do. Let's see. So maybe we can do. So we can do line 2, as you notice, has can look like right this. So we give them some like, or what else can look like this. So we want to split that, right? The split into city, right? And then comma state, and basically I'm just calling the columns and the code. So let's see what it's giving us. I haven't tested this one, so it's gonna be a good test to see. It's gonna generate a preview again. So again, and then they clean up for you, right? We might want to tell them, like right now it's not deleting that one from that line 2. So maybe what I can do is just, I can reject this one and then say, because it did what I wanted to do, but I wanted to also remove the initial one. So you can also do that in a new prompt, or just edit the prompt that you already did, right? But yeah, so there are endless possibilities with this tool.
I muted myself. What record types does Flatfile work with? Because I know when we first started sort of working with them on a development, there weren't any, there were none. And we kind of started with what is the most, where we thought the most value would be for implementations.
Right.
And we were talking about trial balances. Then we got into customers and we got into vendors.
Right.
But like where are we at with record types now?
We started with our major need, right? I would say, we started with trial balances, right? So you go to transactions right now, it has trial balances, but then we acknowledge that to have trial balances, right, you need to have chart of accounts, right, and the programs and segmentation on it. So basically, I would say it has all the list data that you can bring in, all the related data that you need for that list data. And we're working our way through different transactions as well. And we're also, going to see how we can use this for other type of migrations. So it supports several data right now. But this is where you can see what is in place right now.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But yeah, we'll still with manufacturing as well. So yeah.
Yeah, and again, this is something that partners can or will use. to help speed up and make the data migration process more accurate and quicker for or taking less time, actually both, for new implementations. However, anyone who has a need for continually bringing data into NetSuite that comes out of some other system and has to be modified somehow, multiple different ways potentially. Again, what I see is the allocation of labor is, to me, the most obvious. Just because it's just not a routine thing that you're going to get, even with an integration, is something that other customers could use. Now, if anybody wanted to do that, that would go through. We would need to set up an account so you could contact us, and we would be able to work with you on that. But again, the purpose of this these demos was to sort of get us started on having conversations about AI for NetSuite. Solutions that are currently available, solutions that become available, updates on, on what these solutions can do, and that sort of thing. So, Fran, I think we can wrap it up. I'm excited about this personally because, like, you're on subsidiaries, and we talked about this before. Getting subsidiaries, multiple subsidiaries associated with a single vendor or customer when there's duplicates already and all that is quite time consuming. And you showed me what you can do with Flatfile to make that faster and easier and more accurate. And I was pretty excited about that, to be honest with you. So
yeah.
All right, well, we'll wrap this one up. I'm excited to follow up on this and see how it goes. Did you have any parting thoughts?
No, it's just I would say it's like almost endless opportunities. This just gonna keep growing, and we would like to hear back from what are the use cases that you would like to test in these different scenarios, because that's what we need basically. Just what is the biggest headache, and then try to solve it with this.
Yep, exactly. All right, with that, if you want to reach out to us, probably the easiest way is through the contact form on our website. It'll be on the last slide here, but it's licloud.com. You can just click on the contact menu at the top and choose AI for NetSuite or anything else that you're interested in. And we will be happy to follow up. And, if you want to be on a mail list, we'll be sending out, emails when we schedule the next one. We'll also be putting those on LinkedIn. So with that, thank you very much, Fran. Looking forward to doing more of these with you. I'm excited.
Okay.
And all right, y'all have a great day. Thanks.
Bye.